Hi everyone, welcome to White Noise. My name is Robyn and I am your host today. It's a beautiful day here in Kingston. It's sunny, it's actually kind of hot. Been sweating all day, but I love that. Yeah, I was just telling everyone how I just found some mushrooms on the mountain and Summer just walked in and it feels like summer outside, and I think she just brought that with her. Hi, Summer. So yeah, we're just gonna have a cute little open mic today. Nothing crazy. Hmm. Okay. Well, I'm not trying to project anything. I'm just saying it's not gonna be like crazy. I mean, it could be. I could chug that coffee right now and get real crazy here. But I don't think any of you want that. I don't think I want that, actually. I'm going to be honest. Once again, I don't know who that is. Okay, well, I wanted to just open with a little short reading from one of my favorite poets, Fernando Pessoa. This is a book I'm reading right now. Pessoa? Yeah, he's a Portuguese poet from early 1900s, kind of during like World War I era. He died pretty young, as all poets do, I guess. I don't know. Actually, no, never said that. I'm not putting that out in the world. I'm just gonna read a few cute little things that I love from this book so far. And this is the complete works of Alvaro de Campos, who is, I'm not going to go into this whole spiel right now, but he's known for these kind of personas, or he calls them heteronyms, that he writes as. So they're different, they're personas. That's like how me and you would understand them. But they have different names, they have different stories, they live different lives, and this is one of his main ones. He has 3 main ones, and this is one of his main ones. And he considered himself a sensationalist, which I love. I consider myself a sensationalist sometimes. And sometimes I consider myself like, I don't know, a lobotomist. All right, so I don't know exactly what I'm going to read, but I'm just going to read a few little stanzas that I highlighted here that I thought were pretty cool. Okay, not this one. Not this one. Let's see. Okay. This one's number 14. G. Woe to you, and to us. Behind these fierce, inflexible laws of life, there is some divine love that makes up for all this. Is there? You still keep his cradle in one corner at home. You still keep his baby clothes. You still keep a few broken toys in a drawer somewhere. Go and look at them now. Yes, go and weep over them. You don't even know where your son's grave is. He was number so-and-so in such a regiment. He died somewhere beyond the Marne. He died. The son you held so close, whom you breastfed and raised, who you stirred in your womb, the big, sturdy boy who used to make you laugh at the funny things he said. Now he's food for the worms. All it took on the German lines was a piece of lead the size of a nail, and your life was plunged into sadness. Now, wasn't that horrible? Why did I read that? I did not know what I was getting myself into with that one. I just thought it was pretty beautiful, I guess. All right, I'm gonna read. I gotta lighten the mood now, so I gotta read one more. Just bear with me. I'm gonna find a good one this time, I promise. Okay. Let's see. Oh, okay. This one was really great. I just read this one. Number 28. Distant lighthouses, their lights suddenly so bright, with night in absence so swiftly restored, at night on deck, how troubling this seems, the final pains of farewells, the fiction of thinking, distant lighthouses, the uncertainty of life. I'm sorry, it's like kind of amazing. Distant lighthouses, the uncertainty of life, the bright light returning even brighter in my lost, drifting gaze. Distant lighthouses, the pointlessness of life, the pointlessness of thinking about life, the pointlessness of thinking about life. We are going far away, and the light that seems so big grows smaller. Distant lighthouses. Yeah, that's him, a little bit of him. That one was also sad, I'm sorry. Actually, I'm not. I shouldn't be sorry, I have no reason to be sorry. But yeah, if you want to read more, you can, look at it. It's a cool one. I actually have a really fun picture in here of myself, if you want to see. Yeah, I took this on a, what's it called? Like a photo booth or something, but it's a sticker. Isn't that crazy?
When was he alive?
He was alive like, I think he was born in the late 1800s, died like 1935. Yeah. Lived most of his life in Portugal, lived periodically in Northern Africa, I think, just for a little bit. So he writes a lot about ships and other stuff like that, pirates and plundering. All right, yeah, that's my intro. And now we're gonna head on to the open mic list because I know you guys are tired of hearing about this dead man. Olivia, can you just tell me who's first? Okay.
I'm number 5.
I guess you're number 1 now.
Yeah, now you're number 1.
All right. First up to the stage, Dagan, Jolty. Welcome. Oh, and to anyone who just got here, there's a sign-up sheet right there if you want to perform.
Thank you all. And thank you all for inviting me here tonight. At your insistence, we will continue our exploration into the ever so thorny issue of who's really in charge around here anyway. I shall start by quoting from the obscene Bible of Tortuga, circa 1672. Building blocks of anachronism sporadically imitate amorphous syllogism. The Quackmore greetings were literally infused with august renditions of snooze rebellion. Because after all, consider, here we are floating through space trying to figure it all out. And yet at the end of the day, we come up short. That's because we don't know what's going on or who we are. And yet we continue to ask the big questions. Continuing. Alas, their only remorse was tightening their original disaster, all in an evening's turmoil. Puff up for safety before your ancestral longing hijacks the edges of your bliss. Because now we are playing the real game. Now the stakes are ever so high. Who's at risk and what shall happen and where do we come from, and all of that is not as important as scratching that itch or throwing that ball or coming home to some of your better instincts. Moving right along. Harboring death threats is counterintuitive to an exhausted emotional landscape. Major invention cataclysm Foregoing natural conservation restrictions generally overrule casual observations in check. Are we not who we think we are? Is tomorrow not always elusive? Now is the time to plant ourselves into the eternity of our own muck. We have hope only if we take that left turn. I personally am inspired to do so, and I invite you all to join me. What? No, I can't talk. What? Oh my God. What? Wait a minute. What are you talking about? Really? No. Wait, this is terrible. Oh, wait. Who? No. She didn't have any clearance for that. That's ridiculous. No, wait a minute. What? What happened? Oh my God. That's. No. That's really bad. No, wait a minute. No. That can't be that. No, wait. What about the money? Oh, yeah. No, wait a minute now. No, wait. No, we got to do something. We either got to get a loan, we got to get a lien, we got to do something here. Come on. No. I know. Well, wait a minute. There's too much at risk. No, she can't do that. We're going to be destroyed. No. I got to go. No, I can't talk. Hey, look. I'm a policeman, and I can go like this. Hey, look. I'm an AI programmer, and I can go like this. Hey, look! I'm a preschool teacher. Am I crazy? Or is the world crazy? Sooner or later, they say that we can do these things even though we don't know that. But that's okay. Even though we say we can't believe in the other side of all the things that we're trying to trick ourselves into, but it doesn't seem like there's much of an answer. How can you believe there's nothing there as we go past our limits? Don't we know what we can do if we tell ourselves that there's a great horizon there, but though no less taking for granted the things that we say that we can do for ourselves. One more time, it's true. More volume on that, please.
was vibey.
Vibey?
Vibey.
Vibey.
Yeah.
Never heard that. I'll take that.
There you go. All right. Next up to the stage, we have another repeat offender. Jeff. Welcome.
I should be able to stay in about the right place here without tripping over the carpet. So, okay. Hi, I'm Jeff. I've wanted to do comedy for a very long time, ever since I was young, but I'm Japanese, and I was in that generation where if you were Japanese, there were certain expectations of what you were going to do with your life, and how your family, what you chose to do, would forever determine how your family treated you. So it could be like, this is my son, he's a doctor. Or, this is my son, he's an engineer. Or, this is my niece, she's a doctor. And so I became a doctor, PhD, not an MD, so it's kind of the participation prize of doctorates. I'm actually a college professor down at Brooklyn College. Anybody from the city up here? All right, yeah. Actually, I heard you're going to be going into the city later on. Okay, great.
I live by Brooklyn College.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Like Flatbush or?
Sheepshead Bay.
Okay, all right. I kind of only know like the subway stations because I live up in this area. Yeah, so you know, doing comedy is something I've always wanted to do. And even though I did become a college professor, the dream of comedy never completely went away. And then 2020 happened. And if the pandemic taught us anything, it's if you have to interrupt your partner during a Zoom meeting, make sure you put on clothes. But it also taught us don't wait for the universe to give you permission. And so recently I started doing stand-up comedy. And in the course of a long life, I'm in my late 30s. One of the things I've learned is that if you want to be successful, you can either be one of the best or one of the few. So I figure I have an advantage because I am one of the best stand-up comedians who are college math professors of Japanese descent on this stage tonight. Actually, of those things, it's the Japanese descent that's kind of the most unusual. If you look, there's a lot of Asians who do stand-up comedy. But if you take a look at their background, Jimmy Yang is Chinese, Randall Park is Korean, Ali Wong is Chinese Vietnamese, Aquafina is from Queens. But there aren't that many, there are very few Japanese comedians out there. And college professor, we like to ask questions like, well, why is that? So I thought I would start by asking my family. So next time we got together, I said, hey, guys, I've started doing stand-up comedy, and I noticed there are very few Nihonjins, Japanese people, there are very few Nihonjins who do stand-up comedy. And I was wondering if you had any insight as to why. Well, my mom explained it to me this way. You're doing stand-up comedy? But Jeffrey, you're not funny. And then one of my brothers had to add in, yeah, and you hate it when people laugh at you. It's like, no, I hate it when you tell that story. And for God's sake, I was 5. But I'm sure there's other reasons why people don't go into comedy, because that story can't be that unusual. So I say that I am Japanese, but I was actually born in the USA, which brings to mind some of you may have been following the news, and maybe you've heard that Bruce Springsteen has caught a lot of flack recently for calling out the Trump administration as being corrupt, treasonous, and incompetent. I have to say, you know, if you're corrupt and treasonous, the incompetent is actually a good thing. But Springsteen's critique of the administration comes as this betrayal to the people who thought that his song "Born in the USA" is about how this is the greatest country in the world. But that misunderstanding is comprehensible because the only way you'd know what that song is about is if you actually listen to it. So I know the song is older than about half the audience, but there have to be some people in here who know the song. So somebody know what the song is about? Familiar with the song? Yeah, what's it about? Oh, me? Lady behind you.
You say.
Okay.
The book Born in the USA, and he goes pounding, Born in the USA.
Yeah.
I'm not remembering it well enough.
Okay.
Sorry.
So
Remember.
the song is about basically a Vietnam veteran comes home and he's basically badly treated by this country. And it's not this is the greatest country in the world. It's like we have some real problems in how we treat our people. Now, the people who say that the song is about American exceptionalism do get one thing right. The song couldn't have been written about any other country in the world. I mean, can you imagine Born in the Federal Republic of Germany? I mean, how would that song go? A veteran gets home, he gets universal health care, he gets free college, he gets 12 months of paid parental leave, and every year he gets 4 weeks of paid vacation. I mean, who'd listen to a song like that? That would be like a country music song where everybody is happy and sober. But, so it's Pride Month, so happy Pride Month, everybody. It's clear that we still have a long way to go, but we've made some progress. But we've definitely made some progress. I'd like to say that in my adult life, we don't talk about how I was as a kid because, like most 11-year-olds, I was kind of a shit. But in my adult life, I'd like to say that I've always been an ally. Strictly speaking, that's not true because back in the day, the term ally didn't exist. It's actually one of the hardest things about being, so to speak, woke is keeping up with the terminology. Back in the day, we didn't have a specific name for it. It was, well, I'm not a homophobe, I'm not a racist, I'm not a misogynist, not an asshole. But we had to invent a term for it, and back in the day, some of you may even remember, we used to call it PC, politically correct. And so that did cause some tense moments at the office because you'd overhear your boss saying, I hate this damn PC crap. And you had to wait a moment to figure out whether he was having problems because of his racism or his computer. It was usually easy to tell because if it was followed by a string of profanity, it was the computer. But back in those days, I said that I was accepting of, because we didn't have the term ally, I was accepting of people who were LGB. A couple of years go by, and somebody says, oh, it's LGBT now. What's the T for? It's for trans. Oh, okay, that makes sense. And so I started saying, well, I'm a supporter of LGBT rights. A couple of years go by, and somebody pulls me aside and says, oh, no, it's LGBTQ. What's the Q for? It's for queer. I thought we weren't supposed to say that. Oh, no, it's been rehabilitated. Oh, okay, all right, that's good, I can go with that. And so I started to say, okay, I am a supporter of the LGBTQ community. A couple years go by, I get pulled aside, it's like, oh no, it's LGBTQ+. What's the plus for? It's for everybody who doesn't fit into the heteronormative category. All right, that makes sense. And so I started saying I'm an ally, because we'd finally gotten around to inventing that term. I'm an ally of the LGBTQ+ community. A month ago, our son gets home from college for the summer, pulls me aside and says, oh no, it's LGBTQ+ IA2S, which covers all the NGCs and the GSMs as well as the NBs. I'm a couple acronyms behind, so just let me know when the rallies are so I can go out and support the cause. So thank you for listening. Thank you for listening to me. It's again, happy Pride Month, and always remember, keep fighting for what is right and for what is kind, because that is the way we're going to make things better.
I guess I'll kind of introduce something I was going to introduce later, but kind of makes sense to introduce it now, which is going to be our next event I'm super excited for. It's last year I started this Pride event. I don't know. I still don't have like a technical name for it, but I'm collecting a bunch of queer poets from the area, and they're going to be performing here on the 23rd, which is super exciting. I have 4 people who agreed, who signed up, are like, yep, I'm down for this. I was like, cool. That's awesome. I'm so glad. I will tell you their names later because that's 4 names and my brain can only process one at a time. But yeah, it's super exciting. It's going to be the 23rd, which is a Tuesday, I believe, 7 p.m. And we're going to do a little podcast thingy beforehand with them. It's a Monday. Okay. Maybe, yeah, it's definitely the 23rd. Okay, so it's a Monday. Whatever. Mondays are cool. Monday Fun Day. Yeah, so super excited about that. More on that later once I look up things. But yeah, just wanted to bring that up. Thank you, Jeff, again. And next to the stage is Tristan. Welcome.
I'm going to read some poems of mine from this handy-dandy little chapbook that I made, which I have one more copy of. If at the end of this anyone wants it, I'll just give it to you. Okay. Let's do one short one first. This is called Meeting of Monmouth Ghosts. In Ives, around 6ths, amongst masonry beyond feeling, the meeting of Monmouth ghosts in their libraries, who hush, and hush, and hush. And the thing, having waited many winters in the frozen earth, is made sodden through weeks of rain. Monmouth, in Ives, in the beckoning, never a breeze, only the dredging of weak and pearled treasures. In the wet grass are so many receptacles beyond revival, half full. Nothing mixes with that old water. Then these ghosts, footing the turnstiles, choreograph this hung Narcissus. Everyone is forgotten, all the tricked and crooked and cannot be nurtured again. Let embers be embers. Let the hollow pyramid ring out. In Ives, the Monmouth ghosts retreat again into the wall of rain. Thanks. I'm going to do a found poem now, which is a bit more snappy. It comes at you a bit faster. It's called Thrill to Announce. Go on this side. It's my good side. Thrilled to announce. We're thrilled to announce our first. I'm thrilled to announce that I had the pleasure to score. I am thrilled to announce the release. Thrilled to announce that I'm on my way home. Thrilled to announce that tomorrow I'll be speaking. I am thrilled to announce that we have just had our 6th winner for the raffle contest. I am thrilled to announce that Just Sing. I am thrilled to announce that I will be playing. We are thrilled to announce that we have teamed up with @Nintendo UK to bring some beloved characters and new adventures to Sea Life Manchester. I'm thrilled to announce that Phil and I will be competing in duels. I'm thrilled to announce my commitment to run. We are thrilled to announce the vibrant city of Seattle. I am thrilled to announce our course, Fundamentals of Load Monitoring. I am thrilled to announce that on April 26th, I will be cooking with some absolute legends. I am so deeply thrilled and humbled to announce my debut solo album. I am thrilled to announce that starting today, I'm taking on a new role as Vice. I am thrilled to announce that starting today, I am officially spreading my wings. I am thrilled to announce that I will be furthering. We are thrilled to announce that the incomparable @John Cusack is joining our #Tesla Takedown. Thrilled to officially announce that I'll be moving to Atlanta. I am thrilled to announce that starting today I will be working. We are thrilled to announce that we are hiring. Thrilled to announce that I will be rejoining. We're also thrilled to announce that we'll be absorbing. I'm thrilled to announce that I have recently received my Google Cloud Certified Professional Data Engineer certification. We are thrilled to announce that Joshua is the recipient. I'm beyond thrilled to announce 2 major debuts I've wanted to sing for my whole career. I'm thrilled to announce I am continuing. I am thrilled to announce that starting today, July 15th, 2019, up to the end of this month, July 31st, 2019, when you purchase one product from my TPT store, you may get a second product of the same price or less for free. I am thrilled to announce my verbal commitment. Iowa is thrilled to announce Fad Infinitum. Thrilled to announce the exciting news, introducing my latest service, intuitive face reading. I'm thrilled to announce my candidacies for mayor in the Hudson Democratic primary. We're thrilled to announce the launch of our wine club. I'm thrilled to announce that starting today, Zenton will offer high-quality web hosting at radically affordable pricing. I'm thrilled to announce that starting today and fully rolling out over the next few weeks, Dark Theme is now available for Google search pages on desktop. We're thrilled to announce that this summer's workshop will include a sub-focus of public interventions. I am thrilled to announce that I will be in conversation. I am thrilled to announce my commitment. We are thrilled to announce that we have signed a memorandum of understanding. We're thrilled to announce that we'll be hitting the road. I'm thrilled to announce the release. We're thrilled to announce that we've been listening. I'm thrilled to announce that I have some major news. I'm thrilled to announce that I have successfully passed. Thanks. Have we got time for one more, Robyn, you think? Yeah. Okay. I'll do a little short story. It's not long, I promise. If I can find it.
When did you publish your checkbook?
Like a month ago. Sorry, it's in here. It's in here.
What's it called?
The story or the chapbook? It's called Let Embers Be Embers, which is a line from that first poem I read. Oh my God. Here we go. Okay, this is called Printer Head. I paced the printer aisle, scratching my chin and peering down my nose at the machines. My first and only thought I had at that Staples on a rainy Wednesday evening was, which printer is the most fuckable? Grey plastic on another shade of grey plastic on another shade. It's all grey England. Roundabouts and junction roads, tired office buildings and eye bags, like those videos where they throw a printer off the balcony and it explodes into 1,000 useless parts. Boys know what I'm talking about. Internally, the whirring, clunking stubbornness. A second thought arrived. Somebody should invent a printer that works. A burly employee came to my aid. What's the difference between a laser and an inkjet printer? I asked. After a long pause, he said, well, inkjets are the ones that go with a slow pendulous rhythm. Chikung, 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 chikung. And laser printers go vivace. Thum wee, chirp, chirp, chirp. Got it, I said. Now the ink, he said, guiding me to the HP Smart Tank, is more expensive with an inkjet printer. It prints slower, but the color is more vivid. The laser printer uses cheaper ink and prints much faster, but has a duller color. A duller color, a duller color. A duller color, a duller color. A duller color. Yes. A duller color. There's some sort of life lesson in that. Wait until I tell you about standing desks. I personally find them quite fuckable. That's what Never mind. In this fledgling thought, I am some sort of wielder of a sweeping cultural influence. You are my stub to an underground party where we're vaguely aware that we're changing the conversation, but also so obsessed with printing that we are unconcerned with the outside world, becoming incorruptible and developing immense toilet humor. With a Smart Tank printer, said the employee, you can refill the ink like pouring paint onto a palette, like an expressionist painter. Just uncap that bottle and pierce the membrane over the nipple, and the ink comes gushing out. How does it even work, though? It's like magic, I thought. All that plastic animated into plastic life with power. The thing in my head is now a thing in my hands. Ideas are tumbling out of me. I print articles, I print one-liners, I print nonsense, knowing I can clutch the bunch sheets in my hand and tuck them between paperbacks or drop them out of an open helicopter door like airborne propaganda. I printed the prayer that Jenna left for me on my voicemail. Dear God, thank you for this day. Thank you that the sun is shining in the sky and that all of your people are protected and that Tristan and I are now friends. I pray that you will listen to the call of his heart, God, and bless him as he moves forward in a manner that is pleasing to you on this day. I pray that all people everywhere will be abundantly blessed by you, God, and that the Holy Spirit will prosper through all evil, and your Son, Jesus' name, will be honored above all and any. In Jesus' name, amen. I'm afraid we're closing soon, said the burly employee. Listen, man, I need the colors to be bright, shining. The ink must seep from border to border. I want it to be wet and hot as it gets all over my fingertips, and I want to wake up to it still there, to smell it, a reminder of the great task. This machine, why is it so grey? If I run enough ideas through it, can I coax it back from the edge of the balcony so it doesn't fall and shatter into a million corrupted pieces? Look, brother, you can think about making decisions for the rest of your life. I can lock up, come back in the morning, and you'll still be here trying to molest the printers. Brother, you must act. Like you and me, this printer will one day die, thrown from a balcony. But they are not eaten by worms like us. They will remain grey and moulded. But you are not grey, nor are you made from a template. You're more like the ink, stubborn in the shower, prone to bleeding. Whip your interlocking cogs so not one speck of dust ever settles upon the bypass tray. Hallelujah for this day. I'm an inkjet man. I love you, I said. I love you too, he said. Please put your pants back on. And go in peace, brother. Print pages with color and life. Furl them in glass bottles. Throw them into the sea for me. Thank you.
No one can claim being alive since before Paradise Lost, when the Atlantic Ocean was born, when Mother Nature, with a gentle kiss and no forced labor, sent Noah's Ark upon the crest of the surf of her waters. What's under the silt of Neverland's Netherlands? That we built our children into green-eyed giants with their flaming red hair to build the original floodgates. Still functioning, not the same ones, but technology has brought us younger. Youth is ageless. Here we are, come on aboard. We're in the caboose of that very long train called society, being pulled by that locomotive, fueled by the vampires of Mother Earth's insulator blood, and feeding their flock a GMO diet to die for. Dig, baby, dig. No, drill, baby, drill. It's money, money, money. Drill, baby, drill. I'm king of the mountain. Drill. Drill? I thought I heard you say dig. You know, your cemetery plot, sir. We all gotta die someday. Is your funeral around the corner? Tomorrow? Yeah, tomorrow. Never gets here, does it? But then again, yesteryear's tomorrow is the future now. From start to beginning, you can't have a beginning without a start. And the look on mommy's faces, and the look on mommy's faces as we boys started to arrive across the valleys. Paradise Lost? Neanderthals? Neanderthals have no DNA from Africana or Asia or. So where do they come from? The ghost white ones, the ghost white ones. Gotta maintain those floodgates. Gotta maintain those floodgates. No, we can't have them taken off like the giants all over the globe, building pyramids. They'll be void of hue, void of empathy, so they'll never get bored. And they'll maintain those floodgates with a hole over here and a hole over there and a hole over here and a hole over here. Ouch. They multiply like rabbits. They multiply like rabbits. Are they rabbits or are they roaches? No, not the ones we smoke. What are we gonna do? What the fuck are we gonna do about it? Same thing Mama did. Feed them organic food. Feed them organic food. Thank you.
Yeah, you are awesome. Love your poems and your story. I love how you say sodden. I want to hear you say that again. Yeah, you have a great voice, great speaking voice. And obviously, Philip, you know how I feel about you. Yeah. Thanks, I guess. Yeah, that was the end of the list, so I'm gonna read now if that's cool. I have a few. I am not a skeptic. I want to believe that we don't truly understand what reality is. Do you? I want opinions. I don't need evidence or research. I want intuition. I want to pick the honeysuckle from the bush and drink its sap. I want to eat spoonfuls of honey that will intoxicate me. Will you fly next to me, white moth? Are you really flying beside me? Am I speaking to you telepathically? Why is it that dogs like some people and not others? Owners always blame it on one thing or another. It's an energy, an intuition, a vibe, a presence, an intention. My boss laughs at me when I start talking esoterics, but I can't help it. I haven't even mentioned the ghosts I spoke to as a child that lived with me and made me follow them in my dreams to my parents' room, where I'd wake up frightened. Let's just put this on the table. I've been haunted all my life. It's only now that I've managed to stand up to it. Whatever it is, creature, monster, demon, dweller, I'm not afraid of you. I love you. My shadow, curling up the length of me, tickling insides as I read Pessoa drone on about ships and cargo and pirates and plunder. It's all about the fire within, the spark I light to ignite the flame of chance I swirl around like a straw in thick liquid, all oats and fruit and milk blended up and meant to be ingested. meant to sit and be shit and swallowed all over again. And I can climb up a mountain alone and run miles without a guide. I can do all of this because I am not a skeptic, because I believe in life after death and in heroes and mystics and dreamers, in animal gods and Buddha and holy water and herbalism. I believe that we must be touched, and if we can't stand it, we are ignoring something very important. Maybe that's just me. Maybe that's just my problem, but I'm not a skeptic. I think that my problems could be anybody's because I believe in the improbable and even the impossible. Like time travel, flying, mind reading, thought stealing, world healing. Yeah, I even believe in that. I believe it all can be okay. Peace is here if you want it. There will always be enough good to go around, as long as we eliminate our oppressors and begin anew. So don't be a skeptic. Be a part of the change. Be the peace you want to see. Be it because you want it, because you can't see more bombs destroying civilizations and families displaced and children dying and faceless villains, drones executing mass murder. If you can't stand it, give peace a chance. I'll be right there beside you. Thanks. That one was a little different for me, but it was fun. Okay. This one I wrote the other day, right after I went to this incredible garden in Never Sink, which is in Sullivan County, called Flying Trillium. Olivia and this man, no, this guy Caleb came. It was incredible. I mean, they'll tell you too. It was like so magical. It's a native garden out in Never Sink, and I wrote this poem right afterwards. So I guess this is gonna be cool for you guys to hear. It's called There is Patience in. There is patience in the heart of every gardener. In all the late night hours spent under waning light, studying the differences between a cecropia and a polyphemus moth. All the browned knees and palms of hands, reflexively wiped against jeans softened with wash and time, that fray in places where we bend and bleach where sun tends to rest. Only one side of my family was gifted the green thumb, and I always feared I inherited the shaky, uneasy hands that water houseplants and stuff multicolored perennials into thick, nutrient-dense soil, with a manicured lawn perfectly trimmed at its edges like the abrupt fault line from forehead to hair on barbered heads. Yet I see the light of meadows blooming inside of me, in wild, untamed, native landscapes who live in harmony in a way that can be perceived. It is hard to picture harmony if you have not seen it, but once you have, you will know. That sight will never leave you. In New York, and specifically the Catskills, this looks like patches of rock and branch woven land alive with rudbeckia, zizia, basil, sedges, phlox, heuchera, ceruleum, asters, penstemons, baptisia, and many more lined in height order with larger stalk-laden plants and shrubbery toward the back, various shades of yellow, violet, and crimson, and ground covers closest to our feet, dew-covered and anxious to traverse more paths beaten and untraveled, to wet our hands with the moist fronds of sponge and moss and grace their tips against the vaginal form of the lady slipper. When you discover the abnormal growths of ornamental trees that span the width of 10 of me, whose serotinous pine cones drop their seeds only after being burned. Therefore, the extremely flammable pines are, in a way, impervious to annihilation as the fire melts the resin sealing the cone, allowing it to spread and grow anew again. We cannot destroy what has always intended to be here. Even fires that burn land seen from space are now only an empty slate. These immobile beings are more attuned to the what-ifs of life than we think. And so are we. Though mobile and anxious and tired and hungry, we can decide whether we want to be an annual, living and dying within a season, a biennial, shedding our skin and soul after 2 cycles around the sun, before crawling back within ourselves, a perennial, bursting with glory for a few good laps, and just as we get comfortable, time stops us in our tracks and we must change course? Or are we an ephemeral, growing and faltering before the first leaves sprout after the frost has melted, dissolving into the forest floor to sustain the first spring buds? I think of myself as impatient like an annual, waiting for my brief time in the limelight before fizzling like the flame subsiding within me, though I wish to be perennial, shining for years before taking some time to regroup and find a new spot to bare my skin to the sun, though it would be nice to live as an ephemeral, anxious to raise myself high as all are still shaking the sleep from their bones and falling before they have a chance to realize my beauty in its full form. And through the act of remembrance, I would strengthen their roots and inspire others to spread their petals just as high and just as brilliantly. And it is through this denouement I could finally, hopefully, find some time to rest. Thanks. Yeah, I have one more. It's kind of all over the place, but should I read it or should I just not? Do it? Okay, that was one do it, so whatever. Okay, I'll do it. This one I really just wrote, so all right. It's called A Whole Meaning Buried. A whole meaning buried under a dense thicket I weave my hands through, getting scraped and torn like flags in a tropical storm. See branches, see signs, see sneakers flying. Did you know they passed a resolution in this county about sneakers? Apparently we like them. Apparently our government approves. So now I can keep on wearing my sneakers knowing my legislators want me to. But what if they said, hey, no more sneakers here. We don't like those in Ulster County. What would the everyday sneaker-wearing person do? Toss them in the landfill? Did you know our county government wants us to be responsible for our own trash? Did you know they wanted to put the landfill in the poorest part of the county? Did you know I can't stop moving? Even in my sleep, I'm tossing and turning. Power goes out and I'm laid up in bed staring at the ceiling, but my eyes are shaking, my blood is coursing, and my heart isn't moving. It's just sitting there like a dumb bird searching the ground for a sign of worm. Now that's another thing. The way he stares outside and the way I look inside feel quite similar. Have you ever been to the YMCA? They have a pool. They clean it every day. I mean, they have to, but still, I can assure you it's clean. The cleanest pool you'll ever see north of Broadway and east of O'Neill. But then, like a rabbit popping out of my ear canal, these thoughts have all disappeared and are transferred elsewhere. Where elsewhere is, I imagine to be somewhere warm and inviting. Because they leave me, like they leave me because there's just somewhere better to go. And I can't blame them. Frankly, how could I? I'd rather be somewhere warm and inviting too. Join my forgotten thoughts on some white sand where the sun is always shining and the sky is always cloudless and blue. Imagine a sky that was always blue. What if you never saw a cloud again? Would it matter? Yes, of course it would. You knew that, right? That would matter. Clouds are important, more than you think, frankly. Yes, I assure you that they're more important than you think. Oh, you knew that? You knew how important they are? Well, that's just good for you. Good for you. You're aware of clouds, and I can't blame you, especially when they're shaped like something very naughty. Naughty like 3 for 3 for cucumbers. Nobody needs that many large unseeded cucumbers. Now, don't get me started on prices. They're just out of this world. Yes, they're almost as ridiculous as the published word. If it was ever up to me, we'd all never read a word again. Only thousands of them. Hundreds of thousands. Or a bucket of fish. That many words. And all at once. And you gotta swallow them whole. Now tell me that's not naughty. I genuinely don't know what that was. Thanks for bearing with me. Oh yeah, and then finally, as Summer yawns, welcome Summer to the stage.
So this is all I have for you guys because I've been working on this for publication. If they decide to publish it, because I told them to change the picture that they picked of me because I looked ridiculous. So if that doesn't piss them off too bad, it'll get published eventually. I wrote this for a conference that was held at CUNY Graduate Center. It was kind of like a celebration of Kafka because the Morgan Library had just opened their Kafka exhibit, which I think is still up and I highly recommend if anybody's dicking around down in the city. It's really cool. The curator's really nice. Morgan Library is always fun to visit. So this is vaguely about Kafka, vaguely about lots of other stuff. And it pissed a lot of people off, but I submitted an abstract and they picked me, so that's their problem. This is called Can the Blank, fill in the blank, Speak? The Ineffective Speech Act and the Absentee Audience. This is just under 10 minutes, so don't worry, because I timed it. I wrote it for a conference. As Jacobson posits in Linguistics and Poetics, the meaning of a sign is dependent on the semiotic code it finds itself situated within, that both the addresser and the addressee must agree upon. Prior to any concerns for slipping, flickering, or chains of signification, the Speech Act requires first and foremost a common epistemic ground, an agreed upon paradigm and approach to reality that acts as the stage upon which the message is sent and decoded. Revisiting the question of can the subaltern speak, Gayatri Spivak likewise notes that, quote, all speaking, even seemingly the most immediate, entails a distanced decipherment by another, which is at best an interception, end quote. For the subaltern to speak then, quote, speaking and hearing are both necessary to, quote, complete the Speech Act. What is misleading about Spivak's original question is the implication that she herself refutes and denies, obviously, that the subaltern is not already speaking, has not already spoken. In 2019, Paul Preciado was invited to, quote, give a speech to 3,500 psychoanalysts who had gathered on the theme of women in psychoanalysis. This is 2019. A speech given by Preciado, recording this in later publications as, quote, a speech given by a trans man by a non-binary body, tells of his institutional, academic, and psychological experience as a trans man. His audience, composed of doctors, students, leaders in their fields, and supposed healers, heckled him ceaselessly, shouted for him to leave the stage, laughed at his comprehensive, well-researched, persuasive speech, and generally made a mockery of his personal embodied experience. Many amongst them simply got up and left, refusing to even listen. His speech, titled Can the Monster Speak?, adopts not only an undeniably Spivakian title, but is modeled upon Kafka's Report to an Academy. It's a short story. The story of an ape who calls himself Red Peter is shot twice during a hunting expedition along the Gold Coast and transported to Europe, where he is trained to perform in music halls. While under the tutelage of humans, Red Peter learns to master both the physical and spoken languages of his captors, first training himself to take swigs of liquor to the delight of his jailer, before finally teaching himself to speak. Yet, as noted in Ben Samai's reflection on Benjamin, Walter Benjamin's refusal to reduce Kafka's work to archetypal mythologies or didactics, quote, no matter how we approach it, and this is Benjamin's lesson, Kafka's work does not lend itself to domestication, end quote. Her forward to Kafka toward a minor literature continues saying, it goes without saying that such a change of perspective cannot be conceived without a radical change in the very nature of the order of signs that is at work in the text. Preciado, too, is interested in the, quote, radical change in the very nature of the order of signs at work in both Kafka's report and his own troubled and troubling report to a similarly civilized academy. In both instances, the monster, the ape, the uncivilized, locate and assume their expected role in the social contract, but where Red Peter is met with applause, both his rhetorical and physical entrances into the domestic world deemed acceptable, Preciado's much less fictitious address is met with outrage and outright refusal. Like Spivak's case study on Baduri, who leaves a detailed suicide note and waits for menstruation before taking her own life to ensure her reasons are not skewed or overwritten, they are, spoiler alert, the subaltern speaks, Speaking then is not and never has been the issue. The problem we have, the problem we are complicit in creating, is a refusal to listen. Address fails when it asks to be taken seriously in epistemological frameworks and paradigms wherein the ruling class or hegemonically normative have agreed upon certain codes determining that subaltern voice is only welcome as spectacle or for entertainment, and is automatically understood as performative rather than genuine and earnest attempts at rhetorical intervention. Preciato's original audience is responsible for his silencing, and while superficially it seems Red Peter's address is successfully received, Kafka's poetics are far too complicated for such a two-dimensional moralization. Quote, "Freedom was not what I wanted, only a way out," Red Peter tells his audience, tells us. Stupid phone. This is why I like stuff printed. It was printed when I read it. Freedom was not what I wanted, only a way out. Right or left or in any direction, I made no demand, even should the way prove to be an illusion, to get out somewhere, to get out. Red Peter acknowledges that there is no freedom to be had in the violent colonial world of humans, but that in order to find a way out of his cage, he must learn these spoken, behaved, and performed languages. Red Peter understands the codes. To locate a way out of his cage, quote, his ape nature fled out of him. He recalls, head over heels and away, so that my first teacher was almost himself turned into an ape by it. He does not outright challenge the discourse worlds that brand him a capital O other. And as Deleuze and Guattari write of Red Peter's education, quote, it is the imitation, it's only superficial, since it no longer concerns the reproduction of figures, but the production of a continuum of intensities in a non-parallel and asymmetrical evolution, where the man no less becomes an ape than the ape becomes a man. The act of becoming is a capturing, a possession, a plus value, but never a reproduction or an imitation. The subaltern, the monster, the ape speaks, and what's more, they speak in the language of their oppressor, but they do not imitate or reproduce the epistemic frameworks from which their audience observes, and therein lies their crime, as Deleuze and Guattari famously detail. Quote, a minor literature doesn't come from a minor language, it is rather that which a minority constructs within a major language. Preciato explains that, quote, paradigms are discourse worlds in which a certain coherence, a certain semiotechnical peace, a certain agreement reign, but they are not worlds of immutable meaning. And when too many questions arise for such paradigms, they become, quote, refractory, harmful, even deleterious until they are replaced by a new epistemology, a new mechanism capable of dealing with new questions, end quote. How many must go unheard before we decide we need a new paradigm, a new code with which we can decipher these forms of minor literature, these modes of subaltern address? At a recent conference on comparative literary studies, tables were marred by missing participants, coordinators, and attendees due to anti-Arab and Islamophobic policies denying visas. Spivak, our keynote speaker, addressed a crowd dappled with keffiyehs and said not a word about the Palestinians. When asked what we can do to think comparatively, she answered, quote, learn languages. Red Peter, too, learned both spoken and performed languages in pursuit of his way out. Quote, so I learned things, gentlemen, he tells his crowd. One learns when one has to. One learns when one needs a way out. One learns at all costs. One stands over oneself with a whip. One flays oneself with the slightest opposition, end quote. On November 7th, 2023, after Yoav Gallant justified collective punishment in Gaza by reducing the Palestinians to, quote, human animals, a video circulated online wherein a group of children addressed an Anglophonic audience in passionate, yet broken, learned English. Quote, we came to Al-Shifa to seek shelter from the bombing, but we suddenly faced death again when they targeted the hospital, a young boy stutteringly reads against the background noise of drones and crowds. He continues, the occupation is starving us. We don't find water. We come now to shout and invite you to protect us. Many such rhetorical interventions and pleas have been made in the last year and change, yet none have been answered. For subalterns, monsters, apes, human animals, speech is not the issue, has never been the issue. The problem is one of paradigmatic codes and epistemologies wherein the subaltern is always just an occidental shadow. When someone's simple existence raises too many questions for one ideological perspective to accommodate, what happens when they decide to speak? As Spivak writes, it is not a mere tautology to say that the colonial or post-colonial subaltern is defined as the being on the other side of difference, or an epistemic fracture, even from other groupings among the colonized. What is at stake when we insist that the subaltern speaks? Spivak asks. I ask, what is at stake when we insist that the audience listens? In a late-stage capitalist culture founded on imperialism, colonialism, and sustained via necropolitical Manichaean policies, the speaking subaltern is, sure, a danger, but the listening audience could become a cultural juggernaut. For it is not the subaltern that remains quiet. They speak in our tongue. It is the interceptor whose semiotic groundwork prescribes limits to the title human that refuses even to sit through, say, Preciado's speech or a clip of starving kids outside a bombed hospital. In short, we must not consider the issue a failure of language, but rather a failure of interception and, more importantly, a failure of empathy that bears at the very least acknowledgement, if not immediate action. In any case, Red Peter concludes, quote, I am not appealing to any man's verdict. I'm only imparting knowledge. I'm only making a report, end quote. I, too, myself a human animal, and am only making a report. Thanks. Does anybody else want to come up here? Read some cool stuff? Stick around on stage for like 8 minutes? If not, I think that's it today.
Do you want to talk a little bit about what's coming up? That we've been
Yeah, so maybe you go first because time-wise, I think it makes sense, right? 23rd? And the next one's 27th?
Yeah.
You do the 23rd first.
Right, so next event, 23rd. Monday the 23rd, yes. We're going to have 4 performers, and there's also an open mic afterwards. We're going to have a local poet named Lyndon here, poet Moth, and then KD Sims and Becky Sue Wicklow. So excited. If you know any of them, tell them I said what's up. Yeah, and then me and Summer are also organizing an event kind of separate to this, actually completely separate to this. Do you want to talk a little bit?
Sure, so that one's next month. It's July 27th, right? June 27th?
June 27th.
Jesus Christ. It's June 27th, so it's this month. It's coming up. That's great. It's good to know for me, because I should be planning it. We're organizing a fundraiser for Palestine. We haven't really decided on where we're going to send funds yet. It's either the Gaza Soup Kitchen or there's another place that's Jordanian, it's Jordan-based that I know of. So we're kind of like on the fence about those two. But there's also an organization that one of our local friends have been working with. It's called Teachers Without Borders. And he's also trying to fundraise to support the teachers who are going out there and basically for free trying to like provide education to some of these displaced children, the ones that survive. So yeah, lots of good causes we're going to be trying to support. This is on the 27th. It's an open mic. We have some really great performers lined up for the beginning. Rabbi Lori Winters is going to be reading. My sister Anissa is going to be reading. Perhaps I will be reading. A great local poet, Michaela, is going to be reading. I was hoping she'd be here tonight. And after we have our featured performers, it's an open mic for anybody who would like to come and perform or read something for us. We'd love to have you. There's going to be a raffle. There will be food. It should be a good time. And this is going to be local. It's going to be at Red Fox Ravine in Kingston. This is owned by the Kingston Land Trust. So yeah, it's a really beautiful space, kind of up a mountain. So wear some walking shoes. Made the mistake of not doing that the first time I went there. Wear some walking shoes. But it's really beautiful. It's totally worth the small switchback hike up the mountain. And we'd love to have you.
Yeah.
And your money. Bring your money.
Yeah. Bring that, especially. No.
Nah, I'd rather have you, but still.
Yes. That's really it. But yeah, we hope you guys can make it to both of those events.
Where's it gonna be?
At the Red Fox Ravine. It's on Wilbur, off Wilbur Ave, I think, in Kingston, down by the Rondout.
It's down by the marina.
Yeah.
It's like right down off of the marina there.
Yeah. It's like
It's really cool.
It's
It
like
used to be a cement quarry. It's like literally like a dome of mountains.
Yeah.
It's bizarre.
It's really
so
cool.
beautiful.
It's on Vale Street?
It's on
I think off Wilbur maybe.
off Wilbur.
Yeah, I think on Wilbur.
It's around Deauville. It's right around
Yeah.
Deauville.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Or is it up Chapel Hill?
It might be up. It's up towards
It's
that.
up a little bit, yeah.
It's up towards that the bum light that never works.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? The one that's always just flickering.
Well, it's over there. But yeah. Thank you all for coming. Thanks to those who stayed till the end. Yeah. Happy to be here with you.
Happy to be here.
White Noise signing off.